Sound check, 1. Sound check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. बोलिए श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय. बोलिए श्री Satyanarayan Swami ki jai. Devotees, this morning, let me take the opportunity to say a word of warm welcome to all of you as we join in our Sunday morning devotions. As we begin this morning, I pay my respects. I say a special word of blessing to members of Dharma Inc. Those of you joining this morning, we are in our new normal, and while this is not a two-way view, I'm sure you're ready to perform your devotions, and as I say a word of blessing to you, I encourage you to stay focused. I would like to say a word of welcome to all of our viewers who may be viewing from other areas, other cities, and even other parts of the world, and also other organizations. We feel happy and we feel blessed that you have decided to join with us in devotions. We begin this morning with our invocation mantra. Once again, I attempt to prepare you for the divine experience. We remind ourselves that this represents the start of a cycle we call the week, Hafte. And in this cycle, many things will happen. Individually, in our families, communally, globally. But we all, each and every one of us individually, we have a responsibility to act. We have a compulsion to survive. It is contingent upon each individual to act accordingly in order to ensure not only survival but progress. Spirituality allows this to happen. We are now at the point where we begin to cultivate that spirituality in a more emphatic way. Emphatic because we have now set the parameters for satsang. We have set the parameters for prayer. We have set the parameters for bhakti, for individual discipline for these few moments. And while not assiduous, just a little bit devotees, a little bit of sacrifice. I ask you as we prepare to begin to clear the mind of any thoughts that are not relevant to our devotions right now. I guarantee you, although I know it's not necessary that I do this, but I guarantee you that when devotions are complete and we open our eyes, all of the problems and all of the responsibilities will still be there waiting for us. They wouldn't run away. So we put it aside for a few moments. As we put that aside, we begin to channel our energies inwardly. We channel the inward energy to work within the body and awaken the consciousness. We awaken the consciousness as one of our first acts on a Sunday morning to start the week by chanting Om Sri Paramatmane Namah Ananta Hari Narayanaya Namaha. I invite you to put your voices in as we begin with invocation. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Bhagavan He Ram He Ram He Ram He Ram हमें दया करो गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर देवो महेश्वर गुरुर साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धे बुद्धे प्रदे देवी भुक्ते मुक्ते प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ते सदा देवे महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार बरणौ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फल छाय बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मुहि हरहु क्लेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। बोले श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय। As I requested last week, we remain seated for most of our devotions, most of our service, I should say. Now we prepare for Dhyan. I would like to address everyone for a few moments as we begin to perform, we prepare to perform our Dhyan. Dhyan is essential in helping us to achieve success. And this is not just a blanket statement that helps us to focus. It is our reality. We take a simple analogy or a simple reference from our scriptures. The sages, I believe a week ago, or maybe just a little bit over a week, we all heard the katha, not only here but I'm sure in various places, of devotion of Manu and Satrupa, where after achieving all of the material and social and moral goals in life, they decided to focus their attentions in sannyas to the divine, and they did tapasya. So devotees, as we go along in our scriptures, Gautam Rishi, we have Sutikshan, Sharban, we have Shaveri, we have so many instances. We go into Shri Mahapuran, Devi Puran, and likewise there are many. The idea remains the same. The idea remains consistent that we perform. The device used is dhyana. They used dhyana. And we devotees now have been afforded the very same opportunity, albeit in different ways. In my own, sometimes in my own thoughts, I say we have it easier and harder at the same time. Easier in the sense that there are so many more facilities available to us to perform dhyana. For instance, our current situation. And difficult, more difficult, because there are so many more distractions. Life is so much more full now, devotees, with things and devices and avenues, and life is not quite as simple as it was thousands of years ago. But we are creatures, we are life forms that have been born into this environment, and this is our natural environment, it is not our unnatural one. It may be a very unnatural environment for the sages of thousands of years ago, but for you and I, this is our normal. My point is this, my question is this: have we captured the essence of our normal when it comes to devotion? It is important that we do not get swept away by all of the workings and the complications and the quantities in our lives today. We utilize this very same device of dhyana to wash the insides and place the name of Hari front and center. So I ask you, for these few moments that we all join in our dhyana, to close your eyes. As we take our asana, many of us are sitting on the floor in our homes. Some of us are not able to sit on the floor, so we sit a bit higher, possibly on a pirha or on our chairs. We sit and we make sure that we're not relaxed, but the body is in a position conducive to being mentally alert. We sit with an erect spine. We begin to now practice pranayam, the foundation of dhyana. In pranayam, we sit with the erect spine and in a very controlled, in a very balanced way. We inhale and we fill the lungs. We hold that air within the lungs for just a moment, and then we exhale in an equally balanced and controlled fashion. What we're doing is at a fixed frequency that is individual to all of us. Whatever frequency of inhalation and exhalation makes us comfortable. We cycle that air, that prana, that oxygen in and out, and we awaken all of the facets of our bodies. the tangible and intangible, the physical and the mental, the emotional and the intellectual. Ultimately, we awaken the consciousness. We consciously awaken our spiritual consciousness with the name of Narayan. Om Sri Paramatmane Namah. Om Ananta Hari Narayanaya Namaha. Sri Paramatmane Namah. Sri Ananta Hari Narayana. Ananta Hari Ananta Hari Ananta Hari Ananta Ananta Hari Ananta Hari Narayana. Mukam karoti mukam karoti vachalam Pangulam Dayate Girim Yat Kripa Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramanandam Madhavam. He Paramanandam Madhavam. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vasudevaya. Hari 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 Om. As the consciousness soars with the frequency of Narayana, 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 we take Chaupai. We keep our eyes closed, devotees. We sing. Let us join in Rama Chaupai. प्रविसी नगर कीजे सब काजा हृदय राखे कौशलपुर राजा रत चरी सिया सहित दो चले बनहि अवधहि शिर नाई जाके सुमिरन ते राम शत्रुघ्न वेद प्रकाशा विष्णु भरण राम विष्णु ताकर नाम भरत अस होई जगते राम ब्याहि धर आए नित नव मंगल मोद बढ़ाए सखा धर्म नय असरथ जागे जीतन कटहु ताके राम कटहु ताके राम कटहु ताके जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय. We all join devotees from our homes. We put our voices in. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Sita Ram Jaya Jaya Raja Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. वह शोभाज समाज सुख कहत नवनय खगे वर्णय शारद शेष सुते सोरस जान महेश सिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरण सीता रामचंद्र की जय. After completing our dhyan in this fashion, now devotees, we begin to use kirtan as a means of encouraging the higher precepts in our existence. There are so many dohe, so many nice verses and shloka that describe to us the power of the name of the Lord, and it is my intention today to share with you and remind you the value and the worth of Maha Mantra. It is one of the few things that we have remaining, I should say, in these circumstances that we can hold intact. But we begin with the process. This morning, once again, we focus on Ganapati and how we need him in today's world. That shield of protection that comes not only from obstacles but protections in way of guarantee. By way, devotees, of the guarantees that our actions when we perform them are calculated and correct, as he becomes Buddhi Vidhata, so that we have the power to exercise the right decisions and enforce on a daily basis now in our current state of affairs, enforce the measures to keep ourselves safe and to continue on a spiritual journey. He becomes Siddhi Vinayak. And as the benevolent protector, he becomes Gana Nayak. I will continue this morning again, as I did last week, to use simple chants, simple dhoon, simple kirtan, I'm doing so, devotees, to encourage you to join, and I invite you, as you sit in your homes, in your living rooms, as you sit with your families, don't worry too much about how it sounds. Worry, devotees. Well, not necessarily worry, but be concerned about how it feels. Calling the name of the Divine. This morning we say, Jaya 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 Gananayaka, Jaya Jaya Vigna Vinashaka, Jaya 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 Gananayaka, Jaya Gananayak, Jaya Vigna Vinashaka, Jaya Gananayak, Jaya Vigna Vinashaka, Gajavadana Gauri Nandan. We put our voices in. Jaya 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 Gananayaka, Jaya Jaya Vigna Vinashaka. We join in our homes. Jaya Shubha Mangaladayaka, Vidya Buddhi Pradayaka, Jaya Shubha Mangaladayaka. We go again. Jaya 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 Gananayaka, Jaya Jaya Vigna Vinashaka. Jaya Shubha Mangaladayaka, Vidya Buddhi Pradayaka, Jaya Shubha Mangaladayaka, Gajavadana, Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, Gau. Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, Gangadhara Shiva Shambhu Nandana, Gangadhara Shiva Shambhu Nandana, Jaya 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 Gananayaka, Jaya Jaya Vigna Vinashaka. Jaya Shubha Mangaladayaka, Vidya Buddhi Pradayaka. Gajavadana, Gauri Nandan, 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 Gangadhara Shiva Shambhu Nandan, Gangadhara Shiva Shambhu Nandan, Gangadhara Shiva Shambhu Nandan. Sahastranaam Swami ki Jai. So we seek the blessings of Ganapati in this way, and in doing so many things happen. Yes, we remove obstacles, yes, we clear the way, but at the same time, devotees, we also become invested and also reinvested with the powers to be successful. Primarily, we have the potential, or we begin to stoke and improve our wherewithal to be successful spiritually. When we have spiritual success, devotees, every other success follows. Once again, I feel compelled to remind you, especially if you're hearing maybe for the first few times some of these messages. It is not just a myth, it is not just the words of our scriptures. These are, devotees, the scientific truths of our world. So we invest in Ganapati. Having done so, the Buddhi Pradayak, the intellect is open. The intellect has now expanded its capability. You and I, devotees, as we sit here and we perform devotion. Now we turn to Vagdevya. We turn to Mahasaraswati. To infuse knowledge, to infuse Vijnana and Vairagya in this same consciousness of ours. As we embellish, we polish and we strengthen our own existence for this short period ahead. I ask you again to join with me. He Sharade Ma, He Sharade Ma, Ajnanata se hame tarade. Remove the darkness, Ma, and place us in the light of knowledge. We join. He Sharade Ma, He Sharade Ma, Ajnanata se hame tarade Ma. He Sharade Ma, He Sharade Ma, Ajnanata se hame tarade Ma. तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। विजय तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे। तेरी शरण है, हमें प्यार दे माँ, ईशार दे माँ, ईशार दासे हमें तार दे माँ। मुनियों ने समझी, मुनियों ने जानी, मुनियों ने समझी, गुनियों ने जानी. The sages, the wise, the spiritually minded seek the secrets in the scriptures. The secrets are sometimes quite hidden, devotees. But today, as I have a specific message for you, I present you with one key. One of many keys, but a powerful key to unlock the secrets of the scriptures, as the sages have done. That key, devotees, is Maha Mantra. Keep that in mind, Maha Mantra. In a little while from now, I will define and show you what Maha Mantra is. Guniyon ne samjhi, guniyon ne jaani, Vedon ki bhasha, Puranon ki bani. Hum bhi to samjhe, hum bhi to jaane, hum bhi to samjhe, hum bhi to jaane. Vidya ka humko adhikar de maa, ishar de maa sakoy. अज्ञानता से हमें तार, तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा मुकुट सर पे साजे. हाथों में वीणा मुकुट सर पे साजे. मन है हमारे मिटा के अंधेरे, मन है हमारे मिटा के अंधेरे. हमको उजालों का संसार दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ. अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ. अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ. शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय. Having successfully worshipped Mahadevi, we now turn our attentions to Uma Maheshwar. Last week I mentioned about Adhikar. Today I want to remind you of the link, the intrinsic link, devotees, that keeps us connected with Uma Maheshwar. Some of us have heard before, particularly at Sri Vishnu Sahastranaam Mandir, that all roads lead to Uma Maheshwar. That euphemism, it hits home when we take our journeys. When our lives take the path, it takes the path across Charpan, from childhood to old age to death, and very likely our Agaman rebirth. That path continuously is in motion, it cycles itself out, as Shankar Maharaj represents. Tiroha. If we immerse ourselves into that flow, the cosmic flow of Shankar Maharaj, then the individual cycle of life falls into that flow also. I should say it fits into that flow and it synchronizes they both synchronize and we move with the gati. We move with the cosmic rhythm of Shankar Maharaj. And all of the adages that we use, Shivoham, Aham Brahmasmi, begins to now make sense. They're no longer declarations and utterances, but they're experiences. This morning we tap into that flow again as we worship Uma Maheshwar. We use bhajan. I ask you once again to join. Beautiful, popular bhajan. But let us not only sing, right, devotees? As we sing, we use it as a portal and we internalize. As we sing, devotees, we feel the consciousness rising, elevating into Pancha Akshar, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Let us lose ourselves in Param Atma, a Jyot. This bhajan says, Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankara, Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankara, Sab jag ke hitakari, Jai Bhola Bhandari, Shiva Har victory to you, O compassionate one. We reflect, we identify, we submit to you. Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har, Jai Bhola Bhandari, Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har, Jai Bhola Bhandari, Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankara, Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankara, Sab jag ke hitakari, Jai Bhola Jai Bhola Bhandari. We join devotees, let's sing Jai Bhola Bhandari. Nis din tera dhyan dhare hum, nis din tera dhyan dhare hum, sumiran mantra tihara. Nis din tera dhyan dhare hum, sumiran mantra tihara. He Shiva Shankar mantra jagao, He Shiva Shankar mantra jagao, hoye jagat ujyala. Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Kripa karo Tripurari. Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har, Jai Bhola Bhandari. Sab koi शंखनाद से शब्द जगाकर, शंखनाद से शब्द जगाकर, स्वर संगीत बहाया. शंखनाद शंखनाद से शब्द जगाकर, स्वर संगीत बहाया. युग युग से ये सृष्टि नाचे, युग युग से ये सृष्टि नाचे. डमरू बजाया, तेरी याद बुला के जग में, तेरी याद बुला के जग में, दुख पावे संसारी। जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी। विजय तीन ताप हरण सब लेता, तीन ताप, तीन ताप, तीन ताप हरण सब लेता, ये त्रिशूल प्यारा। तीन ताप, तीन ताप हरण सब लेता, ये त्रिशूल तिहारा। तेरे नाम जपे से जग में, तेरे नाम जपे से जग में, मिलता मुक्ति द्वारा। महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता, महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता, महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता, आए शरण तिहारी। जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी, जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी। जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर, जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर, सब जग के हितकारी। जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी, जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी शिवर, जय भोला भंडारी। ओंकारं बिंदु संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनः, कामदं मोक्षदं चैव। ओंकाराय नमो नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय। उमापति महादेव की जय। As we conclude this morning our Kirtan segment, I want to say a word of blessing to everyone for joining in, and it is my hope that you were able to successfully participate and tap into that spiritual essence. I do, devotees, want this morning to continue sharing with you certain small messages. All of this is in an effort to help us to, well, do many things. Most of us, we have no choice but to cope with our current situation. I want to, from a spiritual standpoint, I want to warn you against accepting what might be a new, what might be start becoming a new norm. There is a certain amount of distance between what our regular physical devotions are, and sometimes it can be easy to accept it and begin to move on. I begin this morning by reminding you to stay focused on what the ultimate practice, not the intent and so on, but what the ultimate practice of your dharma should be. And while we find ways to adjust and modify, I think it's important that we try to still meet all of our goals spiritually. If we are resilient, we will be able to do this. If we have over time established contacts, open avenues of communication with our spiritual leaders, with our pundits, with our books, and we've taken the responsibility to assimilate the messages that have been given, I'm sure, to all of us over time in many different places by different individuals, then it becomes a little bit more practical to stay connected. And I remind you to call on all of those now. Call on all of those assets. But it still becomes difficult for us to stray too far off of so much tragedy that is around us. Unfortunately, the United States of America this week has broken many very dark, very somber records of loss and so on. All of this is going on around us, and yet, devotees, we are charged with having to cope. Of course, it all, in one form or fashion, it may either take a toll on us or it may impact us in some way, negatively. If it takes a toll, it means that it's a little bit more directly close to home. And if it impacts us, it means that we're to some degree connected with all of this that is going on, and all of us are in some way or the other to some extent. But this toll, devotees, this toll is emotional. This toll that it's taking is also mental, it's economic, okay? And this toll is communal. And sometimes what we need to cope with all of this pressure, all of these pressures, I should say, is a bit of inspiration. We draw inspiration. And inspiration, fortunately, in our Dharma, comes in many ways. Today, now, as I alluded to earlier, I'm going to present to you the key. The key to unlocking the secrets of our scriptures, but that is one thing. That's metaphorically. When we're able to do that, when we're able to capture the essence of that metaphor, what we're doing is we're now in actuality, we are unlocking the secrets to our own success. Whether we're in this situation or in some different situation, and God knows what situations we will be faced with in the future, near, medium, and far. But this is a powerful secret. And I want to urge you, as I begin to share this message with you, do not discard the secret. I like to prepare people, So I will say now is not the best time to go get a glass of water. Okay? Not a good time to walk the dog. It also, devotees, is not a good time, more applicably, to say, I hear that already. Listen again. Listen again, devotees, and internalize, because the same thing every time gives us different results, better results. Ideally, this is what it should do. I said I will present you with that key, and that key is in the form of mantra. Mantra, devotees, is a powerful tool, and we can apply mantra in our lives in many ways. I will identify 5 ways for you today, but I'll deal with only one. We can apply mantra in our lives as what we call psalm. Psalm, devotees, is the chanting of the mantra. We call it in some cases vidhi, right? It's mantra that is used in yajnas, it is used in puja, it is used in sanskar and so on. these mantras have certain requirements and certain conditions, and like I said, I'm only dealing with one. This is not it today, but suffice it to say, one category of mantra is Psalm, and we encounter Psalm on a daily basis, particularly if we do our sadhana and so on. Then we do Stotra. Stotra devotees is very powerful. Stotra is very potent, and Stotra is also very strict. And I will say it is one of my pet peeves and say this in the same breath. Don't worry, not going off on a tangent, but today anyway. But Stotra is a very conditional thing. Stotra should be used and it should be recited, right, by the acharyas and the pundits and the gurus and so on, right? And it shouldn't be sung, like a song. It shouldn't be sung to the chant is the way that the stotra is chanted. The chant devotees shouldn't be Bollywood. It shouldn't be Mukesh and Rafi, right, and Lata and whoever comes after, Kumar Sanu and thing. That has its place. Stotra devotees has a very stringent place in our mantra, in the collection of our mantra, and it requires preparation and qualification. I leave that with you, and I move on to number 3, which is our sadhana. Our sadhana devotees constitute mantra also, and I will identify 2 of them for you to think about. The first mantra used in sadhana is the Guru mantra. The mantra that has been given to us, that is sacred, that is powerful, and if it has been explained to you and not just thrown at you, then you understand the value of it, and that value has also been invested with the mantra in the correct time of initiation. Vedrambha. That Guru mantra becomes part of our mantra sadhana. Let's just say we didn't choose yet. We can't find a good looking enough guru, right? Or possibly not a good enough one. And we didn't initiate yet. Then our mantra sadhana should be Gayatri. Shiv Gayatri, Ram Gayatri, Hanuman Gayatri, okay, Ganapati Gayatri. We have these. We utilize these in the mode of sadhana. Then there is the 4th. We have Sam, Stotra, Sadhana, and then the 4th is Kamya. Kamya devotees is for achieving things in life, right? For generically, let's say, desires, okay? We want to win the lotto, right? The Powerball is more, I think. We want protection devotees. We want to attract somebody or enamor somebody. We want to repel somebody. That too, right? You name it, devotees, for whatever purpose, there is a mantra for it. And these mantras also are very conditional and so on, but they're there. So we have Sam, which is, let's just say Puja and Yagya mantra. We have Stotra, which is very conditional. We have Sadhana, which is our own personal mantra sadhana. Then we have Kamya, the mantras that we use to achieve certain goals. That's 4. What is number 5? Number 5, devotees, is Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra is the mantra that has tremendous, limitless power. Yet, it has tremendous and limitless power, yet, at face value, it is very simple. Simple meaning it is within all our capabilities. We know a limited number of puja mantras. We know a limited number, right, of stotra, generally speaking. I hope to God you only know one Guru mantra. And a limited number of Gayatri. And the Kamya mantra, we leave that for today. And now the Maha Mantra, there is no limit. There is no stipulation, there is no limit. Because Maha Mantra are what? What are these Maha Mantra? These Maha Mantra devotees are the names of Hari. Ram Hari, Krishna Hari, right? Sitaram, Radhe Sham. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namas Chandikayai, Om Ananda Hari Narayana. These simple mantra devotees, and if I kid you not, and I'm not joking when I say this, even if these mantras sound foreign to us devotees, for whatever reason, maybe we just can't remember and recite them. Maha Mantra can be this: Ram Krishna, right? Ram Krishna, Devi, Durga, right? If it comes to that, Shiv, we call the name of the Lord, right? This becomes most potent and most powerful. Now devotees, I've told you about Maha Mantra this morning. As I see time flying quick on me, I will bring to you a beautiful incident. I said sometimes we need some inspiration in order to climb out of some of the pressures that we're being impacted by day in and day out, particularly now in these difficult times. So what I'll do is I'm going to share with you a beautiful little itihas, a little story, so to speak. Alright? One that holds a lot of truth in it. And this story is centered around the name of the Lord and the power, the attachment of that name, right? And the power of that attachment in our mantras. We say the name synonymous with the form. So how does this little itihas, this little story go, right? They say, stop me if you hear this one. If you hear this one already, don't stop me, right? Let me continue. Once there was this guru, this Brahman, okay? And he lived in, a village. You choose your country. He lived in a village. And this guru, this Brahman, he studied Bhagavad Gita. So he was always in the study of Bhagavad Gita, which is very good. Many of us do that for extended periods and so on. And he lived with his Dharmapatni in a hut in this village, a small hut, and daily he would conduct this exercise, the reading of the Bhagavad Gita. Then what he would do is, as was done then, after studying his Bhagavad Gita and so on in the morning, he would go out to the surrounding village, and he would beg. Not like a beggar, but in those days, the holy would go through the village and they would be given alms, right? We say, Bhavanti Bhiksha Dehi. So, he would study his Bhagavad Gita, and then he would go to the village and he would beg, and he was very pious and he was well respected, so he would receive enough to survive and go back home. One morning, devotees, any morning, you choose your morning too. One morning, the Brahman was sitting and he was studying, right? He was studying his Bhagavad Gita, and it wasn't the first time, but after finishing, he started over again, and he reached back to chapter 9. Okay? He reached back to chapter 9 in Bhagavad Gita, and he came upon the shloka that says, Ananya Chintaye Mam Ye Janah Paryupasate. Okay? Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vamyaham. He came to this shloka and he read in it, he's like, okay, Ananya Chinta Yante Mam Ye Janah Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam. Meaning, Krishna Bhagavan is saying, I promise, he's analyzing the shlok now, Krishna Bhagavan is saying, I promise to personally attend to the needs of all my bhakta, each and every one, and I will take form to do so. The Brahman devotees, hearing that again, Krishna Bhagavan is making a promise. Hari is making a promise that he will personally attend to the needs of all of his devotees. He will come and do it himself if he has to. Take avatar, take form. Studying, he said, I wonder, because it's not the first time he passed in it, so he's analyzing now from different angles. This morning, the Guru reached this angle. He said, how is it that Bhagwan how can he literally attend to the needs of every bhakta. How can he literally do that? I mean, look at how many people they have in the world. You might lose some, but by and large, the population of the world is growing. He said, Bhagwan can't do that. You'll be too busy. You can't keep up. So is it that Bhagwan means literally that he will come for everybody or not? Then he came to this conclusion. He said, I feel in writing these shloka, Vedvyas, what he really meant was that Bhagwan might inspire, or Vedvyasji by his writings in this way would inspire someone to do good, to do yajna and to do dan and give dakshina and so on. So this is what this shlok means. Bhagwan will take form and we will worship him in this way, but he ain't going to come. He ain't going to come personally. And not that Bhagwan would have, he was saying additionally, not that Bhagwan would have the will or the time to intervene in every one of our lives individually. We can ask ourselves the same question. God had time for that? Will he? Has he? Might he? This guru here said, nah, this is not to be taken literally. So he have the time of will to attend to everyone in this way. So guess what this Brahman do? This guru. Reading that shlok continuously, he go come back to it when he finish and he come back through the chapters and he reach chapter 9 again. He did something. The guru devotees, the Brahman, he took a red pen and he scratched out that shlok. Right? He put a red line across the two lines, and he put a little note on his side. Says, when you reach here again, skip this one. So next time you study, you go skip it over. To not consider that shlok in that amount of detail again. Babaji closed the Bhagavad Gita, and then he went out. On the rest of the routine, he gone to beg. That day, devotees, when he went out, nobody had nothing for him. He usually get it, but that day, nobody offered this Brahman anything. No one disrespected him, but people, for some reason or the other, started to make excuse. Everybody had an excuse for why they couldn't give him, that day, or today, so to speak. Some of them were sick. Some of them devotees, they were low on thing, low on groceries and thing. Some of them was hoarding because, hard times reach. Everybody had a different excuse. Meanwhile, devotees, this guru is out there, back at his home, while he was outside. Guru Mai was there, Dharma Patni was there, right? She was at home conducting the affairs of the house, the ashram. While she was home and Babaji out, there was a knock on the door. Yeah, a knock on the door. When she opened the door, devotee, standing there was a young boy. This young boy was holding a bag. This bag had food, it had pots, it had utensils, it had money, many things, material things, and he was standing there at the door. And the boy devotees, he began to address, right, this Guru Mai Maharaj, and he began to address her, and he started to say, Mata Guruji sent me, right? I'm his chela. I sent me to cook for you. So I come to cook, right? Dula didn't get surprised because she was like, well, my husband knew I could cook. So I know why he's sending somebody to cook. She was surprised and she was suspicious because she didn't know him. She knew all of the chela and so on that they had, but she couldn't place this one. So getting suspicious that way, she refused. She said, no, Guruji didn't send you to cook nothing here. That can't be so. You go ahead. But the boy devotees, he insisted. He said that he was sent to cook and he must cook, he must obey. And when he started to insist in this way, that level of persistence, right, Maharajan became even more suspicious. And she refused him again. She said, listen, you better go from here quick, because I don't know what's going on with you, but I think you should leave. Then devotees, and she said that, the boy did something. This young child, this young boy, he turned around and he faced his back to her. and he raised up the back of his kurta, right? Raised up the back of his kurta, and when he did devotees, Guru Mai was shocked. She was absolutely shocked by what she saw. She saw devotees on the back of this child, welts, right? Wailing, sometimes they call it. Bleeding, welts and cuts on the back of this child. And he started to cry. So she got worried, right? She said, "What happened, child? Why are you showing me this? What happened to you?" And the boy said, "Ma, Guruji did this to me. Guruji beat me like this. He beat me as a warning because he thought I mightn't come and cook this food for you. That's why I'm saying I must cook the food. Let me come inside and cook this food because this is what he sent me to do." And he said, "I'm not leaving until you allow me to cook this food. I don't want any more licks like this." The wife devotees, Guru Mai, she was in disbelief. She didn't feel like her husband could do something like this to a child, but she felt sorry for this child. And she also felt afraid, so she let him in. She brought him into the house, and she allowed him to do what he intended to do. So she allowed him to cook, and he cooked and so on. Maharajan, she take care of him, right? She gave him medication, and she tended to his wounds and so on. And she tell him, "Okay, well, you finish cook, you rest now. Let me wait for Guruji to come back." And by that time, devotees, the Guru came back home. The husband came home, and as soon as he come home, devotees, as happens with so many of us, the wife start, right? Start up the motor. She start to quarrel and chastise him and upbraid him for all kind of thing, right? She said, "How can you beat such a young child like this? How can you do this to a child? Like, you lose your mind? Something like this you will do?" This Brahman, like most of the husbands, confused to bad, you know what's going on. It's just like a different language going on here, different set of activities on a different planet. It's like, okay, I may beat nobody, child, right? And I am losing my mind. So he was confused. He denied this. He had no idea what was going on. And then he asked her, he said, "Dulahin, tell me what you're trying to say here. Tell me what you're talking about. I don't understand." And this Guru Mai devotee, she narrated the incident. She narrated the incident to him. She said that, this child came and everything that I described to you, she recounted. He had these welts on his back, and she said, "That chela of yours, he insisted to cook the food, so I let him cook. And now he's in the house. He's recovering from this beating that you put on him. Let me show you this child. Let me show this child to you." And she went to get the boy. But that boy he wasn't in the house. They couldn't find him. It appears that he had left. Both of them, devotees, got worried that the boy wasn't there. They looked all over for this young child. They couldn't find him. He couldn't be found. Eventually they gave up and they went to bed. Next morning, devotees, the Brahman, right, decided to continue with his routine. He got up in the morning, sit down again, open his Bhagavad Gita. He opened his Bhagavad Gita to continue reading, and remember he picked it up from that shlok that he crossed out. When he opened the devotees, that Bhagavad Gita, that shloka that he had stopped at the day before, Ananta Chintaye Mam, he was shocked by what he saw. He had marked off that shloka, he had scratched it out with red pen the day before. Today, devotees, the red ink was gone. That marking was not on the shloka. It was readable again. Brahman, he stopped. Guruji stopped for a moment and he looked at that. And after thinking, all of a sudden, devotees, he began to weep very bitterly. He realized that that boy that had come into his house was none other than Bhagwan himself, taking form and coming to the house to fulfill the promise of the shloka, to fulfill that promise that he had made in the shloka, right? Nityam abhiyuktanam, continuously I will take form and I will come. And the Welsh devotees on the back of that child represented the same marks that the Brahman used to assault the words of the Lord. In a way, it hurt the Lord. It went against the principles, the precept of it. When the Brahman saw that devotees, he became very, very, very remorseful, and he resolved, never to doubt again the power of Bhagwan's words. This devotees, he resolved to do this, and he came to that realization. This little itihas is over. We come back now to our lives. And we have this Maha Mantra. I said that the secrets are there. One of the secrets is Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra is in our mantra itself. We utilize the mantra. The mantra allows us to come to certain realizations. This Maha Mantra, devotees, is one of the keys. It is called Namarupa. Again, these are different areas of our Dharma, but to give you a quick reference, we have this mantra that says Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahastranam. It talks about the power of the name as being the form itself, as powerful as the form. Valmiki Muni said, Ram Charitra Sarvam Iti Ramaha. He says that the Ram Charitra, the entirety of Ram Katha, the entirety of Ram Avatar, Sarvam Iti Ramaha, resides in the recitation of the name Ram, Duakshar, Rama. So this has been forcefully stated in our scriptures, and today, devotees, I now bring that secret out and I share it with you. And I remember I said earlier, for a reason, right? Don't say I hear it already, because it's not about hearing it, it is about taking it. It's about taking the message. This Maha Mantra is simple, and I will say this is my opinion, right? I'm not quoting anybody when I say this, so if you don't like it, it's just me. It is deceptively simple. Deceptively simple. Because it's simple to say. All of you can say Ram. When we see each other, Ram Ram, Sita Ram, all kind of thing. It's easy to do. But devotees, to utilize it is a different story, isn't it? To utilize it. And then we get into the real woods and the weeds here, which I will stay away from tonight. We'll give all this some smooth sailing for a change. But when we come into the woods and the weeds, right, and the reeds, to what extent do we utilize? How deep do we use the mantra? Do we use it as a key to just unlock, the secrets of our desires? Do we use it to unlock social locks for acceptance? Or do we use it only in certain circumstances? All of this applies here, but for today, right, as I begin to wrap my message up, I want to share this with you. It is deceptively simple. It is not about saying it, it's about utilizing it. How, devotees, how can Bhagwan come for every single individual in this earth? This Guru wasn't stupid, right? He wasn't, in a sense, he wasn't disrespectful, or he wasn't showing disregard to the scriptures or indifference when he said that. He was knowledgeable. Yet he asked the question, how can he come? How can Bhagwan come for every individual? And it's a valid question. How can Bhagwan come for you or me? Right? Many a times something happens, let's just call it a miracle. Something appears somewhere and so on. Right? Today, another miracle happened in a different circumstance. Right? We take these devotees and we follow it and we believe it, and even though we believe it so much, it remains a third-hand experience. Right? What a travesty, huh? Imagine. Right? All it is, let me just assume that it's good things. Good things happening all around the world. We watch the devotees, we're gawkers, and we're enjoying that experience as a third-hand experience. When the secret is right here, the key is right here, we just need to implement it. Come back to the question. How can Bhagwan come for each and every single individual? How can we guarantee that we don't only experience third-hand divinity? the third-hand spiritual experiences in our life. How can Bhagwan come to every single individual? Well, devotees, the answer is this: through the individual, every single individual chanting Maha Mantra, chanting his name. This, devotees, in the essence of this shloka, this itihas, tells us, it gives us the key and it begins to unlock. It starts the process of unlocking the secrets. How can Bhagwan come for every single one of us? You, me, right? Your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, your friends, whoever. Through the individual effort of chanting and utilizing Maha Mantra. Not saying it, right? And not trivializing it, but utilizing it. I will end this morning, devotees, and I will end by sharing, reciting for you these Maha Mantra again. I know you've been listening, and I respect that. I admire that. I know you've been listening. Listen very closely now as I end. Remember what I said. We may not remember everything, but choose your thing to remember. Choose your thing of value to remember from what I said before. Now that I'm about to conclude with this message, listen and remember this. This is the crux of it. Maha Mantra. Sitaram, Radhe Shyam, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Chandikaya. Listen again. Sitaram, Radhe Shyam, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Chandikaya. And I, devotees, on my part now, will give you the king of all keys, the master key amongst the keys to unlock the secrets. The master key is the deepest, is the sweetest. The master key is Hari, Hari, Hari. The name, Hari. Take that, devotees. Our lives reverberate on that frequency of Hari, 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 Hari. You practice, devotees, and I know you will see the change. Come back and quick 2-3 statement summary for you. We live in these times and all of these pressures are on us. And the pressures may, like I said, it may impact us or it may traumatize us. Trauma is when it happens directly. Impact is when it happens and indirectly it impacts us. But the impact is there, and who knows how long this impact would last. Sometimes we need a little bit of power, a little bit of inspiration to climb out, to get that shot of spiritual adrenaline, right? To move out and begin to really have the force of conviction to make sure we navigate and are successful in these dangerous times. That inspiration, that force becomes the last things, the last mantras. Last mantras I ask you to remember. And if nothing new with these, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. Boliye Sri Sathyanarayan Swami ki jai. Many of us, we chant the name of Hari. Sunday becomes the day to do that. As we did last week, just for a few seconds, devotees, we chant the name of Hari. And this morning, it is my intention for us to end with Jagdishwar ki Arati. Before we do that, put your voices in with me. I won't leave the line for you to chorus. Let us all join together. Okay? We put our voices in. Sitaram, Radhe Shyam. Let's go down to the verse. Let's go down to the shot. I drop my scale a little bit, devotees. Hopefully, it makes it a little bit more comfortable for everybody. Let's sing. Bolo Sitaram, Sitaram. 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 Bolo Maha Mantra.
Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam.
And as we take the last pass, the last Pundit devotees, we marry them, we intertwine them. Hari becomes Hara, Hari becomes Hari. Ram becomes Krishna, Krishna becomes Ram. They are all devotees. Narayana Rupa. They all become that powerful, that deep, that liberating mantra, Maha Mantra. Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari.
Hari Narayana Om, Hari Narayana Om, Paramananda Sachidananda Namah Shivaya Om. Hey Paramananda Sachidananda Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Paramananda Sachidananda Namah Shivaya. Hey Paramananda Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Whether devotees Krishna Bhagwan steals our heart or Sri Ram steals the consciousness, it becomes the same.
Bolo Sita Ram Radhe Shyam. 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 Bolo Ram Ram Ram, Bolo Ram. Bolo Ram Ram Ram, Bolo Ram. Bolo Ram Ram Ram, Bolo Ram. Bolo Ram Ram Ram, Bolo Ram Ram Ram. Bolo Ram Ram Ram, Bolo Ram.
Satyanarayana Swami ki jai. I want to say a word of blessing, devotees, to everyone for joining this morning in our devotions. As we proceed to conclude, we can remain seated. And in fact, devotees, I don't know if it's difficult to say for sure, if we've prepared arti in our homes, then we can stand and perform arti. If not, devotees, then have no fear. You can sit and you can worship Ananda Hari Narayan. If you wish to stand, just because it is, within our consciousness we feel it is appropriate to do so, we can stand. However, devotees, we join briefly in concluding Arti this morning, Jagdishwar ki Arti.
Vishaya vikar mitao, paap haro deva, Swami paap haro deva, Shraddha bhakti badhao, santan ke seva. Om Jai Mata Pita tum mere, Sharan gahun मैं किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी, तुम बिना और न दूजा, प्रभु बिना और न दूजा, आश करूँ जिसकी। ओम जय तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम कृपालु कृपा करो भरता ओम जय। तुम हो एक अगोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति के सब मिलो दया में तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय। दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे प्रभु ठाकुर तुम मेरे करुणा हस्त बढ़ाओ अपने हाथ उठाओ द्वार पर तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत् पूजितं मया देवा परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे। We recite a mantra for protection, devotees. Protection for ourselves, for our families, for our leaders, for our communities, for the world. Om Trambakam Yajamhe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukam Ivavanharam Mrityur Mokshya Mamritat Mangalam Bhagwan Vishnu Mangalam Garudathwaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalayatano Hari Om Bhav Shanti Antarikshapam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Vapah Shanti Aushadhiya Shanti Vanaspatiya Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Riddhi Shantir Bhavatu Vijay. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sikha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Sri Paramatma Namaha. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, आदिशक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। बोले श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय, बोले श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की जय, बोले भाई सब संतन की जय। प्रेम से बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Shubhamastu devotees, if you're standing, I ask you to please take your seats. In conclusion, I want to once again, on behalf of Dharma Inc, thank all of you for joining in our live stream. I want to express the hope that you have found it beneficial, spiritually so, and I want to encourage you to continue with your spirituality throughout the week. I want to just mention to you and remind you, if you haven't yet, you can visit dharmainc.net, www of course, but the website is dharma, dharmainc, dharmainc.net. Our organization is going to try as much as possible to leave resources there for you, to leave ideas, leave action items and so on, so that we can stay engaged with our spiritual communities during this time. I urge you to go, you can utilize many of those resources, and at the same time, devotees, take advantage of some of those opportunities to make meaningful contributions in all ways to the continuation of our dharma and the practice of our dharma in our communities. This morning, devotees, I want to urge you to be careful, I want you to be urge you to be considerate. I want to urge you to be prayerful. And I look forward to seeing you next week again. On behalf of the entire Dharma Inc, I say Jai Sita.